Welcome into week 2 of the weekly Sun Signatures. My name is Tom Janae. I'm a medium psychic, and this is Future Sun Tarot. The purpose of the Sun Signatures is so that you can have a very productive week. I want you to be prepared for the week's energy, and I want you to know what you should hold space for and what you shouldn't. The purpose of the Sun Signatures is to allow you to be better prepared for the week so that you can know what you need to hold space for and what you shouldn't, right? Let's make sure that we are as efficient as possible because every week brings new challenges. And even though life isn't about always being efficient, but we have goals, we have ambitions, we have things that we want to accomplish. And the best way to do so is to slow down and to reflect. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I have 6 questions that I will ask Spirit about this week. Let's get to them. Question 1 is going to be the overall energy for the week, or you can think of it as the week's theme. Question 2 is, how is this week meant to inspire you? 3 is going to focus on your creativity and your work life. Question 4 is going to focus on your love life. Question 5 is going to focus on what you should hold space for / what you should withhold from this week. And lastly, we're always going to close out the Sun Signatures, no matter what other questions we ask, with ancestor messages, guidance, and sacred wisdom from the ancestors. So let's dive right into it. The overall energy for this week is once again the Emperor. We had this Emperor card come out in the previous week, so it may be good if you watch that video as well. But regardless, the Emperor is a beautiful and powerful card, right? I spoke about last week how he is the king of all the suits: fire, air, fire, air, water, and earth. And so with this card coming out again, I pulled another card to clarify, and we have the Princess of Wands. This week is about inspiring you to create the master painting that is your life. This week's energy is about knowing that you are made in the image of the ultimate creator and that your goal or your mission on this earth is to create your life, to create a life that is meaningful and is purposeful for you. You should have the ability to create the life that makes you feel fulfilled and is in alignment with your highest good. So this week, you may need to challenge any sort of thoughts or ideals that cage you in believing that you don't deserve the life that you truly want. If it's been placed on your heart, it's for you, right? And so let's dive into how this week is meant to inspire you, because I spoke a lot on the Emperor in the last video. This energy this week is also asking you to celebrate your inner authority, celebrate your strengths, celebrate yourself as this person who has accomplished a lot, but also who may have accomplished a lot emotionally. This week is very passionate, vibrant, very creative. It's a creative week. But let's get into how this week is meant to inspire you. This week is meant to inspire you to evolve and to bridge the gaps between the ideal you or the future you that you have envisioned and the you that you are now, right? This week is asking you to be creative in how you mend that gap. How can you go with the flow and find new ways and resources or hobbies or habits that can contribute to you slowly becoming the person that you need to be to have that fulfilling life? This week's energy is reminding you that your life is a grand painting. Now, if you're creating a grand, beautiful masterpiece, you cannot do that in one day, right? It has to take time. So this week is about inspiring you to break down these large goals into smaller processes or smaller, obtainable goals. Maybe this week is also inspiring you to make SMART goals, but this week, once again, with this card, evolution being what this week is meant to inspire you. This week is clearly meant to inspire you to evolve. I'm going to read this out loud for you, okay? A seed pod catches the wind. A seed pod uses the wind to travel further afield and increase its chances of finding fertile ground. Evolution can be practical. Minor changes can add up. What small, useful habits can you put in place? So this week is saying, once again, part of your inner authority is going with the flow as well. It's owning up to maybe that you need more or that maybe you're not satisfied. having this inner authority is saying, I'm honest with myself, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And so this energy too is saying, maybe I'm not fulfilled. Maybe I need to leave the house more. Maybe I want some change. And it's saying, go and do small changes. Go and implement the small things. Don't be so caught up in knowing or caught up in the grand scheme of it all. Yeah, this is your ideal self and this is where you are. Maybe that bridge, that space in between is too large and it makes you feel discouraged and you don't feel like you should even create, or you don't feel like you can even put the energy because you're looking at it as such something that's separate from you. If something that you're working towards, or if this is your ideal self that is aligned with your highest good, every action you do is going to benefit and bring you closer to that. So this week is asking, or is meant to inspire you to evolve your thought process and evolve what you accept. This week is also inspiring you to potentially evolve your creativity, evolve your wardrobe. Maybe you wear the same colors, muted tones, or maybe you've accepted wearing only black. This week is saying, where have I just been a little bit complacent and not been able to express myself? Maybe you have a past where you felt as though you couldn't express yourself, maybe for a specific reason. What's coming to mind, what they're bringing me is like the military. Maybe you are in the military, you've learned all these restrictions, or you're coming out of the military, right? So this energy is saying, what have you learned? And even a job, right? I used to work at Mac Cosmetics. And for the longest, I only owned black clothes, or predominantly only black clothes, because the wardrobe, the dress code for working at Mac was black attire. So I would always just get black clothes because I could wear that to work. And then after a while, I'm realizing that my whole wardrobe is black doll colors and I wanted to spice it up, right? So this week's energy is inspiring you to find inspiration, discomfort, for you to feel within your body or feel within your emotions. I'm a little upset with this, or I'm not happy with this. I want to change this, and be inspired to do so. So once again, it's taking small, tangible steps towards the future. The same way water can break down a rock over time, the same way you can break down that bridge or that gap so that you can become your ideal self. This week may also inspire you to evolve the ideal you, right? Maybe you have the superficial ideal you. This week is asking you to evolve. What is the emotional side of the ideal you? What is, the spiritual side of the ideal you, right? What is the physical side of the ideal you? And potentially even what challenges the ideal you may experience, or the future you. This week is saying, don't get so caught up on the future and believing that it's unattainable. This week is saying, no, the future is here. The future is every day. Everything you do today affects your future. So this week is meant to inspire you to be present and to do those small habits, or to just start something that's going to inspire you to, start to rethink and evolve who you are. This week's energy is very inspirational, but it may be very subtle. This is a week where you can clearly overlook the various messages and the beauty and the inspiration that is in the corners or that is around you, trying to fill you up. This energy feels like you are in the center of a bed of roses, right? And they're beautiful, different colors and shapes and sizes. And maybe in the past, you wouldn't, have even realized that you're in this bed of roses because you're just quickly trying to get to the next stage. This is like I'm walking through a beautiful garden and it's flourishing, and I'm not even paying attention to the garden because I'm just trying to make sure I get to my next appointment, or at least get home because you're tired. This week is saying slow down and appreciate what's around you. You never know what it's meant to do or how it's meant to help you on your journey. Focusing on the next question around your creativity and work for this week. This week's energy is asking you to create without the care of anyone else's opinions but your own, not even your own opinion. This week's about creating for the sake of creating for the sake of learning how you create, learning what you like, learning who you are, especially as an artist. And so once again, talking about that, your greatest work is your life. You are an artist and your greatest work is your life. And speaking on that, it is saying, how can I add more, beauty to my life, or how can I paint my life in a better way? Maybe I want to pick up on a new brush. Maybe I want to use a different, medium. Maybe I want to use, a different color. Also within this week, if you're someone who has a creative job and you are working for someone, you are creating solely for work, this is a great week for you to create a little space for you just to create for yourself, right? For you to create a little piece, or you to do something that's going to just fill you up and not be attached to some sort of outcome. This is also a week where you refrain from overly collaborating or asking for advice on your ideas. This is also the week where you are, maybe you look at, maybe you look at examples or mood boards or different art while you create. This is a week to not do that. This is a week to just pick up pick up a pad and pen and just draw, or just talk, or just write, right? This is saying do something that you feel called to do so, but do it from a blank canvas. So this week is asking you to potentially see everything as a blank canvas as well. And you have a new start. You can restart, and you can, fill that canvas up with whatever colors and whatever you want this week. So potentially with your creativity and work, you are learning that, there's a rebirth in every corner, right? That's as long as you are paying attention to the fact that you can, or as long as you're being mindful and grounded in the abilities that you can recreate life, you can alchemize, you can regenerate in any second. Okay. This week is asking you for work to be dedicated, but also if you find yourself not being able to provide or give or perform, if you find yourself this week not being able to perform in the way you usually do, or you find yourself in the past few weeks or the past months not being able to perform the way you used to, or even years, this week is where you start to create and perform for yourself, but also start to realize what your mission, your morals are, and what's your drive, what's driving you, what is the dedication, or what's the force, what will you do, or what can you do that no matter how you feel, if you're inspired or if you're not inspired, that you can commit to and you can be dedicated to, right? And maybe you don't believe that that is true, or you can't have that. So this week is even questioning any thought process that says you can't have anything or it can't be a certain way. And so maybe there's been a discomfort with your work life as well. And so before you completely write it off, this week is about gamifying your life, and especially gamifying your problems. Potentially you're ready to let something go. This week is saying, no, take a step back and find ways to creatively change or alter the energy so that it can better fit for you. And potentially you are ready to let something go, or you have been ready to let something go because of your thought process, because you've been believing or just sucking your ways over something, or, taking offense to things potentially as well. So this energy is saying, make sure you're dedicating one specifically energy to yourself to create, but also dedicating a space in your work life as its own painting too. But also this energy here with work and creativity is if you feel, this is not what you want anymore, or this is not going the way you want to, this is also the week where you have that tough conversation and believe that you can create the life that you deserve. So maybe you're in a career and you've been in it for a long time, or you just got in, you just graduated, you're in a career fair and you're unhappy with it. This is the week where you, instead of saying, I just have to do it because I invested the time, I went to school for it, or I have to do it because of this and this. This is the week where you say, you know what is the dream job for me? What do I want to do? This is the week where you start getting comfortable with that. And you don't have to just be caught up in yourself. So if you are underperforming, if you feel overwhelmed, be honest with yourself and start to address it this week, and find ways or look into how you can creatively inspire yourself through these tough seasons, or at least find, strength to create the ideal job for you, or to get the ideal job. This is a week where you are praying to reveal the truth to you, because you need to see your own self from your own perspective, or even from the perspective of how God or your ancestors see you. Yes, this is a week where you are praying to reveal your own inner truth, because I do believe that there may be some sort of energy blocking your creativity, or it may have been blocking you in the past. And so this week is about breaking those barriers down, right? And seeing the vision of what you want for yourself and trusting that you can create it. But let's move on to love life. Okay, let's get some divine guidance for your love life this week. Your love life this week may be a little bit more exciting potentially as well. There could be a lot of energy around you finding a new inspiration with your current partner, or potentially even inspiration with loving on yourself. This may be also a week where you find yourself desired, where you may have other people or energies reaching out to you, wanting to either, talk, or maybe they are trying to show their interest without being direct. So this week I do see you having suitors communicating with you, but maybe you're not completely aware that they're suitors. So once again, this week's energy is about slowing down and reflecting on what's coming to you this week. So even in your love life, slow down and reflect on it. Okay, this person has been showing interest. Maybe this person is interested. You can pray for the truth to be revealed. You can get a tarot reading to see, or you can simply ask the person as well. Are they interested? Right? So don't get so caught up in just doing and going with the flow without reflecting this week, because there are a lot of blessings or even surprises this week if you just slow down and see that you're meant to be inspired. and that you're not blocked. This week, yeah, with your love life, you may find yourself feeling a little bit more secure within yourself because of these desires, or you're potentially being called to challenge any insecurities here as well and see how you react to potentially even certain romantic advances, and if that's based in insecurity. Maybe you believe that other people don't find you attractive, so when someone is hitting on you, you don't even notice. And so this is this energy too with your love life, or even with your partner if you're in a romantic relationship. This energy is saying maybe how are you, or asking you, do you perform in a way because of insecurities, or do you love someone in a certain way because of insecurities, or this is a week where you are being creative in how you love, or being creative in how you date, or how you think about dating, or what you want out of love too. This could also be build. I always talk about this in readings, but like build a lover, right? If you are single, or even if you're not single, but if you are single, this is a time where you could build a lover, that you could sit down and think about creatively, right? Creatively create the life, even creating the lover that you want. This week's energy is saying you have all the tools. You are good. Do it. Go, move, reach out and grab it. This is the week where it's like your prayers are only waiting for you to say that you can get them, or that you deserve them. So I would even write a list down of all the things that I tell myself I don't deserve, all the things that I want, but I feel like I can't even go and get them, because maybe I need to understand that there's something deep rooted in me that needs to be erased so that I can get the life that I deserve. There's a misconception that you cannot have the life that you deserve. Maybe you have believed that misconception, but you are made in the image of the ultimate creator, and you're meant to create the life that's perfect for you, even the perfect love life. So this is a week where you are creating space and holding space for that to come to you. And once again, if you are asking, you shall receive. Pray for illumination, pray for your truths, pray for signs. This is the week where you will get those signs, and they may come very, very fast. Okay. Yeah, so this is the week too within your love life that you kind of take a little bit step in the forefront. You're bolder, right? You are potentially taking the first move. You are potentially putting a little bit more effort. You may be wanting to dress a little spicy. Maybe you want to put on a little lingerie or something like that. Maybe you want to do something new within your love life and spice things up. Let's move on to question number 5. What should you hold space for? And also what you should, refrain from this week. You should hold space for finding something that you can dedicate to. Once again, back to this evolution energy, dedicate yourself to one simple task that you can, feel fulfilled in, but also that is going to help you become a better you in the future. And once again, your life is this grand painting, and we can get so focused on the future and get so caught up in how large the future can be, when if we slow down and realize a painting takes time, a beautiful grand painting takes time, and we just want to focus on various sections of our life at a time. And so this is saying this week, maybe you want to focus on the bottom left corner of your life's painting, and you want to put one habit that's going to help that bottom left corner of your life's painting be a little bit more fulfilled or more illuminated. Maybe you want to add a glossy finish to it, So this week, what you should hold space for is for creating those small habits. And this also is about affirmations, saying those affirmations, rewiring your brain, telling yourself the truths, right? And even if you don't believe them, continuously do so until they become your truths. This is a week where you also pray, hold space for prayer, meditation, be mindful, slow down. This is definitely the week to slow down, but also to speak your truths and to be dedicated in that. This is a week to make a promise with yourself that, I may be discouraged at times, but I'm gonna always hold on to this, or I will always do this for you, or I will always show up for you in this way. You should avoid this week overly collaborating. Once again, I spoke once again earlier in the video, I talked about how caring about what others think or others' opinions, or, basing your work on other people's work, comparing yourself, is something that you should completely refrain from this week if you can. This is the week where you're not oversharing your ideals, right? Maybe you ask for permission and don't know you asked for permission, right? For example, maybe before you go get a new hairstyle or something, you ask somebody for their advice on it. Before you change something up, you ask for advice. This is a week where you take self-ownership and you do it. You know the answer. You know what you want. You don't need somebody supporting just because you feel a little insecure or you don't trust your decision. This is a week where you are truly questioning if you are dependent on someone. If you have codependency issues, this is the week where you refrain from being overly codependent, where you are focusing on yourself. You're monitoring yourself. And if you're going to collaborate with anyone this week, collaborate with your ancestors, collaborate with your spiritual team, collaborate with your higher self, collaborate with God. This is the energy of saying collaborate with the spiritual realm so that you can be more fulfilled and have a little bit more insights. This could also ask you to withhold from asking for advice from certain people that potentially you may not want their life, right? Or maybe, potentially too with the collaborations, energy here, maybe you also don't believe that I believe you can get advice from anyone, but this energy is saying maybe you don't want to collaborate or consistently put yourself in a space with someone or something that is not in alignment with what you want. So this week is about slowing down, especially if you are very eager to invite people into your space, invite people into your work, invite people, to experience you, because you may have low self-esteem, but you don't know that. Or maybe you don't trust yourself. You don't know that. Maybe you don't want to be lonely and you don't know that. This week, especially if you feel like you are overly connected, or you're always doing other things for everyone else, or always experiencing everyone else or everything else but yourself. This is the week where you make sure you are experiencing you, but especially your spiritual team, right? So make sure you are balancing yourself and balancing, how you give energy out. Right. So this week you are making sure you're holding space for filling your cup up, filling yourself up, speaking affirmations over your life, creating life with your words, and creating life through your visions. Your visions are very sacred to you, and someone's vision is not, other people's visions are not the same. So this is the week where, like, maybe you're working on a project with a partner. You hold your ideas for some time and then show them the finished product whenever you're done. This is the time where you just don't ask for permission this week, honestly, because I feel like you may ask for permission without knowing you asked for permission. Keep your ideas sacred, but also know that creating this masterpiece that is your life, right, is a very sacred job. It's this very sacred duty. It's really about being hand in hand with spirit. It really is about, trusting the process and learning the wisdom, the ancient wisdom, the knowledge from ascendant masters, so that you can have a better, life in this life. This energy is saying, if you're going to collaborate with anyone, collaborate with spirit. Get the advice from spirit. They're going to guide you, especially your ancestors. So this is very much a beautiful week. I would say this week, you should really hold space for creating in any sort of way, but also changing what you think creation is, right? A lot of people don't believe they're artists, and I tell everyone you are an artist, right? Your life is the grand painting. And so maybe you believe an artist has to be a painter, or an artist has to be a mixed media artist, or whatever the case may be. This is a week where you say, no, I'm an artist because I'm a poet, right? Or I'm an artist because, I heal wounds. I'm an artist because, anything. I'm an artist because I literally sweep, debris. I clean up the sidewalks. I pick up litter. I'm always creating art, right? This is what you need to be holding space for, and thinking about your life in that way, and making sure you are not focusing on hyper critical opinions or validation from anyone else besides you, spirit, your ancestors, and God. So energy is about hold space for your higher self, make room for them. So this week you should ground, you should set intentions, you should pray for the truth to be revealed. Asking you shall receive, closed mouths don't get fed. This is a week where you are asking, you don't have to know what you want, but you should know that you can get it. This is a week to know that. Hold space for the fact that you can get it. And lastly, let's get an ancestor message. And no matter what questions I ask, if they change and fluctuate within the sun signatures, we were always in with space for our ancestors, for the ancestors, to make room and to give us guidance and ancient wisdom and knowledge, so that we can be better prepared for life and for the week, right? And so let's see what the ancestors have for us this week. So this week is definitely about you facing your fears, but facing the fears that you don't even know are fears, that you've put as, apathy, or you're apathetic about, right? So this is examples of believing that you can't have the love life that you want, so you're not interested in dating, or believing that, you won't be able to create the career or make the money that you want, so you find yourself settling. This is the time where your ancestors are asking you to act with your mouth, verbally speak over your life, and declare the things that are rightfully yours, right? If they've been placed on your heart and on your spirit, they're for you to achieve, right? There are seasons where we want things and they may not stay, but at the end of the day, you should still be able to experience and grow in that journey. So looking at your life is a very grand scheme, a very grand, beautiful painting. Your ancestors want to say, maybe there's a corner of that painting that you're unhappy with, that, maybe having some sort of error, error. I put it in quotes because there's no errors. And, maybe you've been telling yourself that it won't be changed. You can't change it. This is the time where you are addressing those little areas, and you're praying for assistance and help in guiding. So you're hand in hand with spirit and your ancestors this week, or you should be. This is definitely the week where you are sitting and meditating, and your ancestors want you to know to just ask for stuff. Ask for the things that makes even sound stupid, right? Or maybe you're sad or you're heavy. Ask for, that to be relieved off of you, right? Maybe you feel like you don't have certain skill sets. Pray for those skill sets. It's a time your ancestors want you to gamify life and make it very fun. And I think that's been the overall energy for this week. Have fun with life. And if you're running into obstacles, find a way to make those obstacles fun, because they're on our path for a reason. Life is happening for us, not to us. And your ancestors want to know, the more you embrace that, the more you can see these opportunities, and the more you can create. The more you can create and morph your life into something that is perfect for you and your highest good. Your ancestors also want you to know, potentially, if you are facing some sort of discomfort or dissatisfaction in work, or in other areas of your life as well, know what drives you. Know potentially why you received or even went into this industry, and start breaking that apart. Maybe you accepted something for the money and now it's not fulfilling, and so now you know the truth. Maybe you can't be bought, right? And so this is the message where you are just embracing the feelings of apathy or discomfort or lack of satisfaction, and starting to process and see how you can repaint that so that you can be more inspired. And not always is it based on us, right? It's not always our own shortcomings that we're uninspired or we're apathetic. But even if there's an external circumstances or people around that are causing this too, you can pray for assistance in how to deal with these individuals, get a reading, etc. This is the week where you tap in with that spiritual knowledge, that great tool that we all have, and you use it to your best abilities. This is the week where you are just speaking life over yourself, and you are asking. Maybe you're giving offerings this week, focusing on Jupiter Day, giving some offerings around Jupiter Day. Maybe this is the week where you are, learning what makes you anxious and why is that, right? Trying to change your anxiety into fascination, trying to find ways to, bring joy back into your life, spice things up, maybe getting fresh flowers or bringing fresh flowers to the altar. This is the week to know, your strength and the fact that you are truly invincible, and we all are, and we all have this ability to continuously create life over and over again. So it doesn't matter how many times you fell off, how many times you had to let something go, how many times you messed up. You have a new opportunity every day to recreate and especially to recreate it in the liking that aligns with your highest truth. And so this is a week where maybe you want to sit and once again dissect or those areas where you're having discomfort, and see how you can make that more aligned with what you want. And know too, right? Reflect so that you don't repeat that, right? So that you can be prepared for future chapters. Once again, the future is now. Everything that you're doing now affects the future. So don't be so caught up in the future. Be caught up in the now. Because you will always be blessed if you're caught up in the now, doing the things that matter to you and bridging that gap between your future or your ideal self and who you are now. The space isn't that long, right? So that's another message that they have here too. The more you just do small tasks and you focus on the small things you can do, small little things here and there, you will see how close you actually are to what you desire and what you want. So your ancestors want you to know what you are calling in is not that far away. And it's all individual and specific to each person. But what you're calling in is not that far away. And so you may also have something coming in around summertime, around Cancer season too. Um, or even Virgo season, maybe that's going to be a fruitful time for you potentially as well. But this energy is saying, just have faith and keep moving forward and speaking a life over discomfort, dissatisfaction, and obstacles, right? So if you run into the same obstacles and every time you used to just get frustrated and get annoyed, maybe you would curse, maybe you would, do something out of character, maybe you would take a walk, and you wouldn't ask spirit, right? You wouldn't ask God, you wouldn't pray, you wouldn't talk to your higher self. You would just handle it on your own. This is the time where you're like, oh, I'm facing the same discomfort. The situation has come up again, and you decide to pray about it. Ask for discernment, ask for the truth to be revealed. Ask to be filled, to be fulfilled, to know your truth, and to truly trust it. And so it's a very sacred and beautiful week, and it can easily be overlooked. So I'm glad you are watching the sun signatures. But this week is really calling for you to slow down, and and there's so many beautiful lessons and gifts and slowing down where inspiration is always around. And so that's a very beautiful gift of this week, is that, if you are paying attention, if you are looking for it, you will see the beauty and the surprises that may have been hidden from you before. Ask and you shall receive, knock on the door and it will open. Right. And so now you're beginning to knock on your destiny, knock on your own door, and see yourself opening in brand new, beautiful ways. This is the week to be inspired and to know that you are an artist and you're creating the most beautiful work of art. And that is your life. No one can ever take that away from you. Thank you for sitting with me for this week's sun signature. I hope you guys appreciate it so much. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great week.